So now we're going to be talking about a fairly significant concept in our content package related to host family functionality. So host family functionality is basically putting all of your intelligence in one family and then nesting in manufactured content for visibility purposes to show whatever type of family you wanted. So you spend the time with all the formulas and all the connectors and all the parameters in one family, and then you just need the nested family for geometry, and that's it. This is basically made possible because of the articulated Cartesian arms, because now we can move the connectors to any given nested family situation. So we're going to take a look at a couple families that are set up like this. So in the plumbing fixture browser list, it looks a lot smaller, but looks are definitely deceiving, I should say, because these families contain probably about 4 times the amount of content that was previously released with the MPP. And the way that we did that is by combining these families into host families. So if we look at floor drains, for example, essentially now, instead of having a floor drain with a 2, 3, and 4 inch size, and then the next family with a 2, 3, and 4 inch size, we made some parameters, incidence parameters, and now we made every type essentially a different model from a manufacturer that's nested in. So how do these work? Let's go and take a look at them. So here's the family. Which actually kind of looks like this floor drain is in this family, but it's really not. It's placed and it's nested. So let's choose a different type here. So round strainer, nickel bronze. So we've been working with Watts in regards to their families, and we've used a lot of their content in these host families for functionality. So what the end user gets is a whole lot more family content with a lot less browser. It does cost a penalty though. Nothing is free in this world, and that penalty is memory and file size. So these families do tend to get larger, but the functionality of them outweighs the sizes in most cases. So what we have is, if you look here, these are all the plumbing fixture families that were provided by Watts, and each one of these was a face-based family, which we received some feedback on, and a lot of users didn't care for that. So the other benefit of a host family functionality is you can change whether families are face-based or not. So all of these nested families are face-based, but our host family that's holding them all is not. So now these floor drains, we can move anywhere we want. Floor drains it's not as typical, but like roof drains, a lot of time the roof is sloped, so we'd want to place the roof drain on a level and be able to flex that up and down wherever we need it to go. So there's just one instance placed for family host functionality. And what you do is you assign a label parameter to it, which is a family type parameter. And this is where all the intelligence goes into. So there's some formulas that decide what this value is supposed to be. So if we look at the family types here, as I mentioned, essentially every nested family becomes a type in the given family. So all of these are different model number drains. And then what we've done is we have tied a family type to some parameters. So we've got a handful of family type parameters. I guess I'm going to make this a little bigger. So as you can see, we have a 2-inch drain type, 3-inch, 4-inch, 6-inch. So these host family functionalities, which we've done for the air terminals as well, they all have their own specific function and set of family type parameters. So for these floor drains, these are the 6 that we have. We also included our own family that is a no drain type to indicate to the user that they've provided an invalid input. So now based upon the input from the user, we're able to choose which one of these parameters we want that family to turn into. So if this was a 2-inch, as you can see, this floor drain now is going to take this parameter value. So that's the 2-inch size. So that's how these function. It's a whole bunch of nested family content, ultimately to give the user more flexibility down the road. You know, specifically to floor drains too, you have all these different strainer sizes available. So now a firm can go and choose, hey, for all of our 2-inch drains, we want them to be 6-inch strainers, and all the 3-inch drains, so on. So you can update all of these now, and then when your users choose these sizes, you'll get those appropriate strainer sizes. So we'll be talking a lot more about this because this applies to a handful of the plumbing fixture families as well as the air terminals. So this is really just the beginning.